Hello everybody, and thanks for watching the video or listening along. My name is Tom, and you can find me on Facebook. I have a group called Autistic Carnivores, another one called Ketogenic Fasting Project, and I have a little website that's just basically information called carnivoreinfo.com. But you don't have to get your information from me. There's other websites. You can go to meatheals.com or justmeat.co or Zero Carb Zen. Those guys have been around a long time, have lots of resources. And there's lots of other groups on Facebook. You can go to my new one, Carnivore. Carnivore is beating autoimmune disease. My buddy Kevin has a ketogenic support group called Keto Mojo Go. And he has another one called Keto for Autoimmune and one Keto for Autism. And of course, there's the World Carnivore Tribe, 100% Carnivore and Beyond, zeroing in on health, etc. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Mofin M. Tom on Facebook. So anyways, today what I want to talk about was all the things I don't need anymore since I changed my diet. My diet started in January 2017. I went keto, and I had vast improvement. Most notably, I had arthritis really bad. It was pretty debilitating, and it was gone in like a month. It was amazing. I went from gradually getting sicker and sicker and having less and less mobility and feeling worse every morning to just my joints all of a sudden just turning around on a dime. I couldn't believe it. So, and then I progressed by the end of the year to a carnivore diet. I found myself just gradually wanting to eat meat more and more. And of course, there's a whole issue of gluconeogenesis, which you find in a lot of the ketogenic literature. But comes to find out, for most people, once it seems like you're fat adapted or your metabolism's just shifted over to eating a lot of meat, that this gluconeogenesis is more need driven and less driven by just simply how much meat you eat. So instead of your body just kicking out extra blood sugar because you ate too much protein, it's basically just generating it as needed. So I think that was probably one of my biggest hurdles, that and the fact that, based on what all the information that's been thrust upon us for the last 50 some odd years, 60 years, even long before I was born, you would think that eating meat would just be unhealthy. It would clog your heart, it'd make you sick, you wouldn't get all these micronutrients you supposedly need from plants. But come to find out, there was whole communities of people out there that are already just eating meat, and that was a shocker to me. So, and then of course, Dr. Sean Baker's been very outspoken about it. Kind of made it, brought it more into the mainstream. So anyways, what I want to talk about today was about some tangible evidence of how my life has changed. I have only been sick one time since January 2017. I got a sore throat at the end of 2017, and that was it. So naturally, I don't need all those remedies I used to have, and most notably, this one right here. You see this big box of Alka-Seltzer. I used to have one of these big boxes. My little buddy Speedy there, both at home and work. I frequently had to take Alka-Seltzer because I had heartburn a lot, and I don't need this anymore. So that's a great thing. But it's far from the only thing, let me tell you. Every cold and flu season, and sometimes in between, I'd be buying this, the old Dayquil, NyQuil kit. You need that Dayquil to keep you going in during the day when you're miserable and your head's plugged up and your chest is thumping and you're coughing everywhere. I haven't taken this since 2016. Now, I don't live alone, so there's plenty of remedies around for other people, but this is a good example of something I don't need anymore. And I'm not going to say I'm never going to get sick again. I'm never going to get a cold or a flu again, but I never went a year without getting colds and flus before, and now this is 2019. We're into the third month here, so you can see that's a pretty good stretch of time with no colds or flus. Since I had a lot of joint pain, I used to take stuff like turmeric, which is um, it's a kind of a natural inflammatory. Comes from a root. It's the same yellow stuff you see in mustard and other spices and stuff like that. And nothing against turmeric. I just don't need it anymore. And then I had constant sinus problems, and I used to buy products like this. This is a allergy relief sort of over the counter type stuff. This box isn't even open. Never opened it. Never needed it. So my doctor said have me take this. This is a semi-controlled substance. I know where I live, you gotta have your ID, and you can only buy so much at a time. I used to take this basically every day because my sinuses were so bad, and they've been bad since I was a kid. So, and then I was taking stuff like this for the joint pain because I had arthritis. But this was making my psoriasis worse, like a lot of NSAIDs will do for people. If you got some sort of autoimmune disease going on, maybe leaky gut or increased gut permeability, this can just make things worse. They might alleviate the pain, but there's a good chance of it creating other symptoms. So that's something I didn't know at the time. And then I thought this, because I had allergies, seasonal allergies, I thought this was God's gift to man, because this was by far the best allergy medicine I ever took. I didn't experience any side effects. It's relatively inexpensive, and it worked. I used to hand this out to other people, like, oh, your allergies are kicking your butt, your eyes are watering, you're sneezing all the time, you're miserable. Try some of this. And everybody that I know that tried it found that it worked. But this is a plant-based product. It's actually made from the pigment in plants, and I never knowingly experienced any negative side effects. I got a lot of relief from it, but I don't need it anymore. So that's that. Doctor used to have me take stuff like this. I tried them all. This is the generic for, I forget which one. It's called Citrazine. Oh, Zyrtec. So this is the generic for Zyrtec. This one made me really tired. Just like Benadryl made me really tired. I couldn't take that. They're always telling you, oh, use some of this saline spray, wash out your sinuses or whatever, which I did it many, many times. I tried it many, many times, because when you're not feeling good, you will try all kinds of things. But I didn't actually find that it helped much. So anyways, imagine taking all this stuff with some regularity because you don't feel good, because you got allergies, because you're getting sick, because you're getting a cold, because your digestion's off, because, and then you don't need it anymore. I mean, this is just a sample of some of the stuff that I took. I mean, I took Claritin, I took Allegra. I all had a problem with all of them at one time or another, and of course, it's just money you're spending, when maybe it's your diet that's allowing these allergies to flourish. And then when you get sinus infections and stuff like that, or you get swelling in your sinuses, then they get infected, and then you're more susceptible to colds, and maybe you're more susceptible to the flu or whatever. I don't know. All I can say is changing my diet, changing my life, and I no longer need any of these things to feel better or just to get by. I mean, none of these were cures. They're all just remedies. But I think changing your diet could be even more powerful and something closer to a cure, right? I mean, if you go back and eat the wrong diet, obviously symptoms could come back. But so I like to encourage people to go out there and find out about this information, because there's so much information out there for alternative diets, whether it's just going low carb, feeling a little better, dropping a few pounds, or maybe you want to go keto or full carnivore. I know yesterday I did a little experiment. I'm going to do a whole video on raw, but I ate raw meat several hours before I worked out, and it was probably one of the easiest workouts I've ever had. Now, there could be other factors, but anyways, changing your diet can be powerful. Changing your diet can literally change your life. So, anyways, I just want to talk about that. I think other people could spend less time suffering and being sick. And for a lot of us, it's going to come down to just eating meat and drinking water. I think meat is the original base food for mankind. I think that once we came out of the trees and stopped eating fruit, and we started chasing around animals and eating animals, it um, allowed us to evolve bigger brains and smaller digestive tracts, and it allowed us to evolve further. And I think that the more plants we eat, the farther we get away from the diet that we evolved to eat. So, in general, you could just have a strategy of avoiding sugar, avoiding grains, avoiding seed or vegetable oils. Make sure you read the labels, avoid fake foods. If you're eating some food that's meant to replicate some other food and it's got 9 million unpronounceable ingredients in it, it's probably a bad idea. So anyways, I hope you could pass this video on to somebody else who might benefit from it. Subscribing to my YouTube channel would help. Join us on Facebook, get in the conversation. Give a like to the video, and come visit us at Autistic Carnivores. If you suffer from autism, or you're the parent of a child with autism, or grandparent, or maybe you work with autistic people or something like that, come and see us. Come and join the conversation. Let's build a community. Let's find some answers and some improvement for people out there. Let's help everybody raise their quality of living and have a better life. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate any support I get. Pass it around.